first step here is to get the ice shanty set up. Look at this fire. Look at this. I'll call it a mouse nest, but it's more like a rat's nest. All right. So I got everything cleaned up a little bit on the side here. Move some stuff off to the side so I can access this little area. So the goal is to clear this all out. Got my 3 handy dandy shovel, rake, and Mr. Pickaxe for my friends today. Just gonna try to clear some of this stuff out, and yeah, then we're gonna find some. Got my one 12-footer here. Just do some lining up when that time comes.
Now, for any of you that watched the entirety of episode 1 in this series, you would have seen that the shed you're looking at here as I work was in a completely different state. That's because in between this trip and our maiden voyage trip, I did come back to the property on 2 separate occasions. Mainly just to get everything down to the property that would be needed to start building the cabin, like my tools, generator, and other essentials. As you can see, I added a small loft to the top of the shed, which when looking back at it, I sure do regret not filming myself as I built it. From my homemade ladder propped up in the bed of my Ford Ranger just to get to the top of the shed to work, to me putting a steel roof on top of this small 4x8 shed with no help whatsoever, 15 feet in the air, wind gusts well over 50 miles per hour. I remember laying up there and literally laughing out loud as I screwed the sheets down as they flapped in the wind uncontrollably, just picturing myself flying through the air on this sheet of steel roofing, like my own scene straight out of The Wizard of Oz. That said, I did get the job done safely. I ended up cutting a small hole out of the existing roof, which was now the floor of the loft, just as an access point from the bottom of the shed up to the top of the loft. I then built up the shed around it, and with all that said and done, now there's this nice area with a 4x7 cot, which felt like a luxury suite at the end of each day's work. Having a place to go bunk up and get a good night's rest while I built the cabin, it was critical. Sure beats sleeping in the car every night, that's for sure.
Top of the morning, yeah. I passed out hard last night. Yesterday I finished that, left here at 2:30. I didn't get home back here until almost 10. Because it's an hour and 20 minutes one way. Then you actually gotta go get everything, do all that thinking. Then you might as well get some food because you're in a town. On to today, November 1st, 2021. We are getting the floor, the subfloor finished. Footings, all we gotta do right now, starting off, we're gonna add a little bracing into the subfloor. Then I'm gonna mix concrete. We're pouring those footings. From there, we're sealing her up. Just like that.
Before I explain how I went about the footings for the cabin, you do have to remember this is very rural New Mexico. Honestly, the middle of nowhere, New Mexico. The land here has no restrictions, meaning I don't have to go to the county and pull building permits. Nothing like that applies here. So the way I went about the footings for the cabin was I dug each footing until I hit the bedrock, roughly 2 to 2.5 feet. From there, I took my hammer drill and I drilled another 24 inches into the bedrock and inserted 36-inch rebar stakes. From the top side, I took 2x24-inch stainless steel plates and fastened those to the floor joists directly above each given footing. After that, it was really just a matter of mixing up all the concrete by hand, needless to say, which was a grueling task, but the end result here was just a rock-solid foundation.
Alright, so somewhat of a monumental moment. Last footing here. I'm spilling already. And then we can say that our footings are all poured, or I don't know if you want to call this poured, but we can say we're all complete. So that's that.
been absolutely a chore to mix up all that cement, but well worth it. I guess that's finish this up and that's that. Get the floor on. Now, prior to all this, my building resume was lacking, to say the least. Don't get me wrong, I've always been a hands-on person who can learn on the fly pretty well. But besides a few pieces of furniture here and there, and a couple other small construction projects, I can't say I've had a whole lot of experience in cabin building. Well, none, to be honest. With that said, my grandfather and uncle, they were builders by trade, so I like to believe a lot of this just kind of comes natural, or something like that. Alright, so got enough wood to finish the framing. Kind of at standstill now because me getting ahead of myself, I was just going to frame this thing all completely out, 4 walls, but should probably get a door for the back there and maybe a window or 2. So I'm on my way to go get a door just over the New Mexico Arizona border. Actually, it's 2 hours away, but hopefully strap that up top and then go over to Sholo, look at some windows. And that's that. Oh my god, that was the sketchiest journey of my life to get this door. That time lapse, I am so glad I did that time lapse. That put, I shouldn't have even done it. Nothing happened. As of now, nothing happened to the car. So I'd gone on Facebook Marketplace and found this used door just over the New Mexico-Arizona border. The guy gave me his address and it showed up on my Google Maps without a problem. The only problem was when I got there, it took me to a random lot about 2 miles off the highway and up on the backside of this small mountain. The road quickly turned into a 2-track path, making me question what the hell I had gotten myself into. I ended up making it back down to the highway, gave the guy a call, and found out the address was just off the highway the entire time. There are 2 great lessons I learned this day. One of those being, never buy a used door, especially off Facebook Marketplace, and the other, you cannot always trust your GPS or your Google Maps. Something I will be the first to admit is I am not the most patient person in the world. You will notice from time to time throughout my videos that there's segments of the build that are missing, like after these time lapses of the framing, for example. When it came time to hang the exterior plywood for the walls, the GoPro was completely dead, and I was just not about to halt all my work just to wait for it to charge. So with that being said, the next few clips here were taken using my cell phone, and although they are far from professional quality clips, I figured I'd still put them in here as it felt like another big milestone at the time to have the entire cabin enclosed. Alright, new door. There's $300. That piece of shit threw her in the bushes. Got one wall done. Threw up a piece of plywood up top just for now. That wasn't fun, but got her up. I know I'm doing this thing totally all over the place, but again, one-man show. So I'm doing it the way I want to do it. Just seeing how things look. Gonna put these walls up now. We got a wall up. We got one up. Well, 3. Got 3 walls up. We got this wall up. Don't have the back wall up. It's gonna be my friend. I'll tell you that. And our other wall. Should be able to get it all sealed up today. I'm gonna bite my lip and not promise that, but should be able to get the walls up. Gonna try starting on the roof, and then hopefully tomorrow put the roof on. I got some cool rubber roofing that you lay out. Peel and stick roofing. It's kind of cool. Super heavy. Yeah. It's like a rubber membrane that you put out on it. And I also, just in case, grab some extra roofing adhesive. Without further ado, I give to you voila! Holy moly. And this door has already gotten the name. Its nickname is Gary, because it's like the glove, like Gary Payton. It fit like a glove. So that's Gary, my door. Totally worth the money. Oh, what a couple days, let me tell you. Oh, it's like 6:30 a.m. Day 10. Oh yeah. Woke up, it was 31 in here. It's gotten colder than that at night. It's gotten down to like 26 on a few nights, but by far I woke up this morning colder than ever. On this trip at least. Every morning you don't need an alarm. Your wake up call is how cold it is. It would be nice to have the mini cabin set up with a wood stove and everything, so we don't have to do this. We just keep the fireplace or the wood stove stocked. The purpose is to do all this, rough it, and make it through it, and make it something. And then look back at the nights, the 10 nights I slept in a 4x8 shed. So today, I'm gonna get out there, start getting tools all set up, and then we'll get working on the roof. Shouldn't be all that much more to do. I mean, it's not gonna be easy. There is a lot to do, but just gotta finish the roof up, trim up the edges up top, lay the Tyvek. Once the Tyvek's laid, hopefully it'll still be daylight and it'll still be warm enough, because I have to do it in the right temperature to lay that roofing. That's the day I have ahead of me. We'll get her done. We'll get her done. As you can see, got a roof. Now, the last thing I can think of that I got to do is seal this thing up. I bought some cool rubberized roofing. Turns out I bought the cap sheets. So, one last rendezvous out to Gallup. It's going to be a tan roof, which is good. I guess in the summer it won't be too hot. But today's day number 10. Built this whole thing up, and it looks like it'll take me 11 to complete it, minus siding. I'm going to leave it Tyvek, and I'm going to go home and do all that. You know, the next time I'm here, I did it. It's pretty darn cool. It's a proud moment. It's a proud moment. And this is a beautiful thing. Now, I know a lot of people are going to ask the question, why a flat roof? My thought process behind the roof design was pretty simple. I wanted to have a roof that also acted as somewhat of a deck, where I could climb up and watch the amazing New Mexico sunsets from each night, and that I could also use as a place to hunt from in the future. If you can imagine the old Western saloons and what they looked like back in the Wild West days, that was the style I had somewhat envisioned. Now, although it does feel and look flat, the roof isn't completely flat. The roof does drop 3 inches from the east side of the cabin to the west side, allowing all water and melting snow to run off accordingly. Oh, baby! Come on! Ah! This is the tricky part.
It's clear enough to me there's beer enough to last all night, but you keep looking at those
175 pounds.
Could it be your situation? patient needs a little medication.
Up a homemade ladder. But that homemade ladder is
Does that whiskey
make you miss me? Does that alcohol make you wanna fall down? Love again. I missed the sunset, but kinda got it. Got my chair. Hey, oh, there I am. Gonna plug my chair in right here. Got a drink. It's the last night up on the mesa for this trip, but we've accomplished what we set out to accomplish. And cheers to that. There was just one last project I felt I had to get done on this trip, and that was connecting the original shed to the cabin. As you can see here, I just used a jigsaw and cut out the wall separating the two. For some reason, this was probably the most satisfying part of the entire build. Alright, it's the morning of Thursday, November 11th. Today is departure day. Alright, cleaned up. Let's do the final 601 updated Santa Rita cabin walkthrough. Come on in. Mini door. We got a little step going up. We'll back up so you can see that. Mini step. We can go up. I'll take you up there. Bring it back down. And then welcome to the Santa Rita cabin. Not big. That's exactly what we need. Hey, Santa Rita cabin. Hey, here we are. I don't know what I'm doing at this point. Just don't want to leave. Let's grab a chair. Mission accomplished. Oh, I don't want to leave, but it is time to go. Through thick and thin, I got it done. I mean, I still got to side it and everything, but she's sealed up. She's ready for winter. She'll make it through. I am going to take a little walk. Haven't walked the property since I got here, so last thing I'm going to do, shoot the gun, take a walk, come back, lock her up. It's a wrap this time. It's 11/11/21. What a day. Great time here at 601. Look at this! Yeah!